Cave Story Plus is a fantastic indie game released on the Switch, just like any other AAA game with a physical release. These days, it's rather rare to see indie releases on Walmart store shelves, but it's wonderful to see, as there's a potential for the game to be introduced to parents who don't necessarily peruse the eShop, for example. The first batch of games came with a soundtrack sampler and a physical instruction manual, which again is just awesome to have in 2017. Cave Story Plus was a super early birthday gift from my COE partner in crime, Steven, and I figured the least I could do is give the game a review. So here we are. Originally, Cave Story was released on the PC back in 2004 and has since been released on virtually every single platform under the sun. This version of Cave Story, coined Cave Story Plus, is based on the 2011 Steam release and the WiiWare release, which features improved graphics and reworked soundtrack options. The game is bright and visually pleasing on both your HD TV and on the Switch's beautiful display. The soundtrack is also absolutely excellent. Cave Story is about a robot named Quote, who is on a mission to stop the evil doctor from using the Mimiga to overtake the world. The Mimiga are native creatures to the mysterious floating island that the game takes place on. Along the way, Quote will meet up with some truly memorable characters, none more so than Curly Brace and Sue and her family. You can even play as Curly Brace if you happen to stumble upon her panties during your adventure. I know what you're thinking, but believe me, it's all in good humor. The gameplay is very reminiscent to Metroidvania games of yore. You run, jump, and blast your way through a variety of enemies and environments as you make your way to the doctor. As you acquire new power-ups, you can revisit previously explored areas to access new hidden passageways and find special new weapons and items. You can shoot left, right, and directly above you. Quote can also shoot downward while he's jumping. For those curious, there's no diagonal shooting, so gunplay is more Metal Slug than Contra. There are two core action buttons, one for shooting and one for jumping, but you can also use the L and R button to cycle through the various weapons you have available. And of course, there's a map button and a button to open up your main menu. There's a standard pistol, missile launcher, fire launcher, and more. What I really like is that if you revisit certain NPCs later on in the game, you can unlock combination weapons and secret weapons depending on what you do in the game. Speaking of which, there are even different endings depending on which characters survive and which characters you let die. This is absolutely great, as it increases the game's replay value significantly, and you'll really want to play the game over and over again to see all the different things that happen. The level design is top-notch, and honestly, you would have no idea this is an indie release if I didn't tell you it was. My only disappointment was with the repeated simplistic boss fights. I wish more variety would have been made to the boss fights. Thankfully, the last three bosses in particular are great, but I could have used just a bit more variety overall, like I said. The exploration, standard enemies, and everything else about the game is excellent and comes very highly recommended. If you have a Switch, or pretty much any other platform, I would really check this one out if you're a fan of 8-bit or 16-bit action games. After you've mastered everything there is to master with the core game, you can also try the challenge mode where you can race against the clock and try to have the best times on the leaderboards. Apparently there's even going to be a multiplayer update coming later this summer for those interested. Considering the modest asking price, I really don't have enough good things to say about this game. Go pick it up either physically or digitally and enjoy a really fantastic game on your Nintendo Switch.